Hello and welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And before I do anything, I need to get the elephant out of the room straight away. My voice, you may have noticed straight away, is it's rougher than our form at the moment. I've been a bit under the weather for the last few days, so apologies in advance for that. I mean, watching that game there hasn't exactly helped things. I mean, we knew going into this one that there was no excuses for not winning today. It's Norwich City. It's almost like indisputably like the weakest team in the league. You know, newly promoted, bottom of the table, and really struggling for form. You know, they hadn't scored in their last 6 games going into this, 6 defeats in a row in the league. Not a single goal scored. It's just, there's no other way of saying it. It's just inexcusable. And I think this is the point where we really do start to have to panic a little bit, because if we're losing to them, then who exactly are we going to beat at this point? Because this run just gets worse and worse by the week. I know we won in the cup last week, but it wasn't in the most convincing of fashions. And the fact of the matter remains that this league campaign, the run in the league, it's just getting worse and worse. You know, I mean, if you go back to the last time we played Norwich, which will seem like a lifetime ago, and it was a while ago, end of September, and we've won 1 league game since then. It is absolutely criminal. And before you even talk about performance or team selection or any of the things that we got wrong today, like that alone, that gets any other manager sacked in this day and age of football. Any other manager at any other club, and they're gone. And it just gets more and more frustrating that he's still here. And again, I think there's never anything. It's just the same. It's the same every week. I cannot remember the last time we scored first in a game. Off the top of my head, I have no idea. It's like we never ever score first. We never make a strong start to a match and start on the front foot. And that we so needed to do that today, because you knew that Norwich must have had us in our sights. You know, they have had a tricky run of fixtures recently, and they must have been looking at this fixture at home, Saturday, 3:00 kickoff, a full packed Carrow Road against a team that are lacking in about as much quality as you possibly could be at a given time. And they would be rubbing their hands together, just like, oh, we could get these today. If things click into place, we can get these today. Start on the strong foot, get the confidence flowing. And that's just what happened, and they just caught us out. And a team like Norwich, you know, once they're 2-0 in front, they're going to make it almost impossible for us to score. And that's just what we found towards the end. And it just doesn't work. I don't know if that's what we're set up to do. I don't know if it's just, but we just don't ever seem to get going until it's too late. And even today, like you've seen it, there's been better examples of it, of us working towards the end, but it just been too late. But today, there just didn't seem any urgency, and you know, there could be other factors for that. I mean, there may be players that obviously, you know, with the Digne stuff that's been going on recently, and you know, it's suggested of like players liking his leaving post, which seemed to aim a few digs at Benitez. Like there's a school for thought that a few players might have down tools perhaps, but from some of them today, that's not what I saw at all. You know, the likes of, I thought Damari Gray, he started really well. He seemed really sharp. He seemed to lose his way a bit in the second half. I don't know if like in the system that we adopted with putting Richarlison up front as well, he seemed to lose his way a little bit, or what. Wasn't really sure what role he was playing. That's something he got wrong as well, of course. Richarlison out wide, Gray more central. That should have been the other way around. Gray should have been more wide cutting in, and Richarlison would have been much more of a threat in the centre, linking up with Calvert-Lewin. That it's a no-brainer to me. I don't know why he didn't do that, but yeah, Gray's play seemed to be trying. Gordon, I thought in one of his poorer games today, but that just goes to show we can't rely on this 20-year-old. Like, as promising as he is, and as well as he's been playing recently, you can't just put all your hopes on the shoulders of this 20-year-old, because he's just not quite there yet. And there's absolutely no point laying any blame into Anthony Gordon. But Richarlison came on and played really well. Just couldn't do enough. Excellent goal that he scored. Can't take anything away from that. Absolutely brilliant. And you thought just for a moment maybe a few bits of magic and we might be able to get something out of this game. But even then, the fact we've been talking about that, the possibility of getting something out of the game, this should have been a win. Needed to win today, and panic stations are really going to have to start to set in now. Jordan Pickford towards the end, I was somewhat refreshing to see. Literally like barking at the defenders, like why are we doing this? Like why I can send these balls up, get numbers up there, because I say Norwich are just packing out their goal and just getting so many numbers behind the ball. Like it's never gonna work trying to find a way through. It's just impossible. We don't have the creativity for it, or like the quality in numbers, or we don't if like they're all just passing it around on the halfway line looking for the right ball to launch it, because they'll just get rid of it, and that's just what happened. It is really, really starting to be, it is a worry now, definitely starting to panic now. So there's not really much more you can say than that, to be honest. I thought traveling fans again, like all credit to you again. Like when it looked like there might have been a chance of us getting back into it, like we were up behind the players, but equally in the darker moments, like still aiming the blame exactly where it needs to be aimed. Benitez and the board. Those were the chants echoing from that end of the ground, like towards the end of the game. Sack the board and fat Spanish waiter. And that is still the problems that need to be pinpointed. Don't want to talk too much about Michael Keane, but it needs to be touched on a little bit. Out of his depth, too much reliability, has been for too long now, and it was at fault for both goals today. Obviously, he scored the own goal. Tad unlucky, still not good enough, and then we're caught out a minute later on a routine counter attack. Still had the numbers to do it. It was a poor ball from Coleman. We got to probably say a poor ball from Coleman. Probably a bit slow from Gordon as well. Like they were just caught out by a defender who wanted the ball more. But even after that, we still had the numbers to deal with that counter attack, and we didn't do it. And that's like in a game like this, that's not good enough. And that 2-minute spell cost us today. But I don't think I saw enough before that suggested we would have won that anyway. But because they were still the sharper of the two up until that point. But those 2 goals, they're the goals they got, and that is what has got them the win. And all credit to Norwich. It's a lovely little club. Some good, talented players, and I know they've got a bit of a reputation of a yo-yo club, but they pinpointed today, as I said before, and they knew that they could get it. If they get it right, they could get a vital, much needed win from us today, and they've got it, and they all credit to them because they deserved it. They wanted it a lot more than us, and they got it. They did a lot more and ended up with the 3 points. So all credit to them. But for us, oh dear, it's not looking good. I'm not entirely sure where we go from here. Aston Villa next week. Goodison is going to be about as bad as we've ever heard it. Obviously, with Gerrard coming back, Coutinho, Digne, the likes of Danny Ings, who always scores against us, and Aston Villa are looking like a club on the rise. We are a club very much on in the midst of a downfall right now, and it remains to be seen if we pick ourselves up in time. Obviously, it's still in the middle of January. There's still time for some business to be done, of course. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to bring in the players that are needed to change his side around. Still persisting with his two-man midfield. Obviously, Alan was missing with illness today. I don't know if that affected that decision, but it is very, very bleak, and that's possibly about as bad as it's got this season. Probably in line with maybe the derby, but I think that just about brings a close to this very gloomy match reaction video. If you enjoyed, I don't even know if that's the word for it, but if you enjoyed sharing in a fellow Evertonian's pain and suffering, then please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and subscribe for more Toffee Blues videos. Cheers.